Welcome back to the show. Well, no matter what you're celebrating, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, maybe you're just celebrating winter solstice, it's a great time of year because it brings together people. As I keep saying to people, yes, the pandemic's not over, but we're getting back to a sense of normalcy. We're gathering with friends and family. And my next guest is going to give you some great ideas when you're entertaining those friends and family, how you can do it right. Rob Statham joining me. He is the Drunken Grape. Welcome back,
buddy.
Hey,
man, thanks for having me. This is great. This is like the daytime Ottawa living room at the holiday time.
Isn't this nice?
Yeah.
I know. We're usually over in sort of the kitchen area and standing, but we thought we'd make it a more intimate sit down with you here today. Let's talk about the holidays for you. What do the holidays and Christmas mean to you?
Well, it's a great time to get together. I mean, I think you were talking about, sadly, the loss of a loved one or somebody associated with a loved one. I've had losses in my family, so we take it as an opportunity to really get together and bridge that. And I think it's, from the heart, that's a really important thing to do. And I think it's really important to accentuate happiness and joy for people because there's a lot of people struggling out there too. Let's not forget about that. I mean, the majority are like, woohoo, it's party time. But there's probably a good quarter segment of the population out there, a significant number that, it's great to have the opportunity to bring some heart and love to them at this time of year. And that's why I love wine and beer, because it just kicks off that celebration.
Yeah, it does. And, throughout these few weeks, we've had so many different organizations, and, you just said that so perfectly. There are so many people that are struggling, and so don't forget them. And maybe last year you donated $20 and you can only donate $10. That $10 still goes a long way. But as you said, when you are celebrating, wine and beer can bring people together. What about gift ideas? Especially if you're going over to someone's house, what do you suggest people bring?
Well, it's always great to bring a bottle of wine if you're a guest at somebody's party. I believe in never being empty-handed. Now, if you know that they're not into wine, bring some good beer, craft beer from like Flora Hall Brewing here on the counter, a great example. Or others like, Dominion City, you've got Big Rig, Kitchissippi. We have a whole plethora of it here in Ottawa. There's like 50 different breweries you can connect with. Or bring a nice bottle of scotch. I mean, that always excites people, too.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's talk about that dinner that people have. As I said, people are celebrating in different ways. Some people have the traditional turkey. We'll talk about some of those other meals, but what do you suggest for a nice turkey dinner?
Well, over here, we have Chardonnay. I know that's one of your favorites. If you want a white option, it gets a bit of butteriness in it. I believe that was aged in American oak, so you got a little hints of vanilla and coconut. That accentuates things with turkey. The acidity chops into it. Nice apple inflections. Now, if you get to the rosé, Featherstone Rosé, and that's Speck Brothers Family Tree Chardonnay. That's a great buy for the value and the money. A lot of these picks are all around $20 or just under, so I did this with a budget conscious in mind, but to get value too. Featherstone Rosé, so that's a blend of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, so you get a bit of those appley citrusy notes off Chardonnay, then you get the strawberry cherry inflections. So if you want a hybrid, something in between, or you hate turkey and want salmon or trout instead, that's going to pair wonderfully with it. And then on the other end, we got the Foch Baco Noir, 2 indigenous grapes that do great in Ontario.
Giant.
That's an awesome wine. That's Sandbanks Winery out of Prince Edward County.
What a great winery. Have you visited?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Small place.
Yeah,
and
I was really surprised.
In a million cases a year or something off 7 acres of wine.
I know, it's crazy. We happened to be there when the owner was there, and she was
she's
just
cool.
Yeah, I mean, just what a wonderful person, and as you said, one of those incredibly great success stories, right? When it comes to Ontario wine country.
A winemaker, and that one's jammy. That's got a lot of dark fruit. It's got some smokiness to it. There's some cocoa notes. All these things go well with the cranberry and the fixings that go with turkey. So, people think Zinfandel. I think, well, if we're in Ontario, let's get Baco out with a bit of Foch. Let's blend that together and celebrate what we do here in this province.
Well, what if you're doing a ham? You mentioned ham very quickly there. What would you suggest?
That rosé would probably
that would go nicely too.
Nice blend. Like, this is the triage that's going to cover you. You get a nice white, like a Chardonnay, bit of butteriness to it, tends to have a little bit of oakiness to it. Go for the rosé in between, and then get a fuller-bodied red to really pair the turkey, or if you're having a roast.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, let's move to, this looks like a beautiful one. Let's move to a beer. Tell me about this one.
So the Berliner Weiss it's a white beer, wheat beer that's inflected with cranberry. So it's got this cranberry tart, dry flavor. It's acidic. It's got some body and breadiness. It's almost like a cranberry breaded tart. Now you just think, well, if I don't want wine at dinner, why not have beer?
Yeah, Yeah,
and
exactly. And they've come a
people
long
forget,
way.
Food is more easily paired with beer, believe it or not, than it is with wine. So to have
Really?
that option, yeah.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
no.
I'll have to look into that a little more. You mentioned this great brewery a little bit earlier on, but tell me about what they offer.
So Flora Hall's been around for 5 years now. It's truly craft right in the heart of Centertown. I'm sure you've been there. They've got their own kitchen in there. David Longbottom does an awesome job with this place.
Yeah, he's been on the show. Just a great guy.
Cool dude. And this is one of their packs. That's like a party pack or like a gift pack. It can come in. So you've got the Pilsner, you have an IPA in there, you have, I think, an English bitter on the other side of it. These are all things that are easy to drink. And to kick off a dinner, something like a Pilsner is a great way to start dinner time, too, and open it up with a salad at Christmas time.
I was going to ask you that because a lot of times when people celebrate, right, they come early, right, and you might want to serve them a little something before dinner begins. What would you suggest as far as a wine goes as people arrive?
Well, I don't have it here, but go Prosecco or go something sparkling, or just get like Trius. They make a great sparkling wine out of Ontario, for instance. Like, these options are great because it gets people into the celebratory mood.
Yeah, for sure. We're back in person in studio. You're starting to get back in person with events. I think you're still doing a hybrid, though. You still offer virtual, right?
I do, but the live events are kicking off more and more. I'm getting more requests locally for that again, which is kind of cool. It's actually gained some steam from the pandemic.
Oh, excellent.
And, it's a great way to get people back together. Kick off a nice event. Do a wine and beer tasting or hosted wine and beer dinner party, because we do those. Get a chef in there involved. And that is a lot of fun because you get the whole interaction of food and beverage together. It's just a great way to do it.
Couldn't agree more. How do people get in touch with you, Rob? What's the best way?
Well, they hit me up directly at rob@thedrunkengrape.com. There's the website, social media, at The Drunken Grape on Instagram, Facebook page. I think it's I Am Rob Statham on LinkedIn. I know it's hilarious, but that was what came up for me.
Well, and you have your great podcast as well, and people can find
YouTube
all
channel.
of that. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, the Success Happy Hour experience with The Drunken Grape. So it's the Drunken Grape YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's a great time. I was a guest on there as well, so you can look up for that. Rob, Merry Christmas to you and your family, and thanks for being here.
Merry
really
Christmas,
appreciate
brother.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks, I appreciate it. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go anywhere.